Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live. We get straight into our interview in this hour. Where injured Banyana Banyana utility player Gabriela Salgado underwent a successful operation at the Mohamed VI University Hospital in Casablanca, Morocco on Wednesday. Salgado was stretched off following a serious injury during the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations semi-final clash between South Africa and Nigeria in Casablanca on Tuesday night. Now, to talk to us about this, we've roped in SAFA Chief Medical Officer as well as the CAF Vice President of the Medical Committee, Dr. Thulani Ngwenya. Dr. Thulani, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Good morning, Vutsiwe, and good morning to all your viewers. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Thulani, perhaps we can just start the conversation with you talking us through Gabriela's injury as well as the injury that she actually suffered resulting from that incident that took place in that fixture. If you can just break that down for us.
Okay, so they were both going for a ball, and Gabby's left foot was firmly implanted on the ground, and the force of the Nigerian striker or forward went through Gabby's leg, and because the leg was implanted firmly on the ground, then unfortunately with that force, then it broke both her tibia and fibula, that is both the leg bones, and that's how Gabby actually suffered the injury. And fortunately, the referee was able to pick it up, and they were able to call the Banyana team doctor, which is Dr. Lindy Mukwena, and the emergency services from CAF, and Gabby was stabilized and stretched off. And also we want to say kudos to the captain and Jermaine Sengwe and Refilo Jani also for supporting the player while they were down, because it was not a pleasant situation. It was not an easy situation, very traumatic, as you could have seen the reaction from both the Nigerian and South African players.
Indeed, and kudos really do go out to Jermaine as well as Refilo. I mean, we saw Jermaine throughout that entire incident constantly holding Gabriela's hand and just almost comforting her throughout. And we're glad that the referee picked up that incident. Pity that she couldn't penalize the player that caused the injury. But perhaps you can speak to us about the decision and why the decision to have the operation in Casablanca in Morocco versus having her come back home to have that surgery.
Okay, so the immediate reaction was that I spoke to the medical team to say she must go directly to the hospital. At the hospital, they needed to stabilize, do x-rays so that we can see the extent of the injury, and then reduce the fracture and put her on a back slab, and also give her some pain medication, and then we could have a chat. Once that was done, I then had a meeting with Lauren, the team manager, the team doctor, Dr. Lindy, and Gabby to discuss two options. The first option was for Gabby to be transported back to South Africa so that she's operated here. The second option was for Gabby to remain in Casablanca and be operated there and then stay with the team. So Gabby, without any hesitation, said, "Doc, I'm here to fight for the team. I'm here to represent the country. So I want to be operated here. I trust you would find people there here in Morocco that would help me." And then I jumped onto a call to call my network, and Gabby was stabilized that evening and operated the next morning, and this operation was successful. I saw post-op even the x-rays. It was great work that was done. So we are hoping that Gabby could be discharged today so that she can actually join the team.
All right, we did, of course, see those reports that she will travel back with the team when they come back to South Africa after that bronze final. What does the road to recovery look like for her? How long do we expect her to be out of action for?
What is good is that South Africa is blessed with great expertise when it comes to sports and exercise medicine. So it will require teamwork. We are looking at 4 to 6 months, and it will need a sports physicians, of which we are there. It will need a sports dietitian, because one of the biggest reasons that makes bones to be weak for women athletes or rather women in general, is because of aggressive exercise that affects the cycle, and vitamin D and vitamin C deficiency. So we'll need a sports dietitian. We'll need a psychologist to also help her recover. But we have seen she's got good mental strength, and but we still need to support her. And she will need also a physiotherapy and biokinetics. So it is a team of experts around her, and we are expecting to start that rehabilitation immediately when they land.
And I think one thing that a lot of people have been concerned about is just the costs of everything, the costs of the operation, the costs of her recovery. Can you speak to us about who's going to be expected to cover those costs?
Well, in this instance, I just want to make it clear. The FIFA rules says that the club is supposed to cover the cost of the players that suffers an injury at national team. However, with women's football, because we understand it's still at its infant stage, SAFA has decided to take full the cost of everything from where she is now all the way to rehabilitation to full recovery.
Oh, Dr. Thulani Ngwenya, thank you so much for your time this morning, and thank you for speaking to us. I'm sure we'll have more discussions with you just in general, speaking on sports injuries and how we can better help our athletes to try and prevent such injuries. But thank you again for your time this morning, and we look forward to seeing you in the Chan tournament coming up shortly.
Thank you very much, Vee.
That is Dr. Thulani Ngwenya. He is the SAFA Chief Medical Officer as well as the Vice President of the CAF Medical Committee, just speaking to us about Gabriela Salgado, her injury, saying they're looking at a period of 4 to 6 months for her to recover from that injury, and that the South African Football Association will be carrying all the costs of her operation as well as her post-op recovery as well as treatment.